The shock did not stop there. Developers testing it quickly realized the same coding task that cost $70 on a closed system could now be done for just about $1
That's insane.
for enterprises
That's
or
insane.
startups running thousands of tasks
That's
daily.
crazy.
That is the kind of gap that changes entire budgets.
That's crazy. Is that true? If that's the case. Okay, we're here. Let me sip some water real quick. AI is coming. I don't want to make you uncomfortable with the inevitable truth, but AI is coming. Not only for you, it's coming for you, your jobs. Okay, it's going to replace you if you're not staying on top, which is why I decided, I'm going to make sure I react to almost every single AI update that is coming our way. As of right now, 2025, April 9th. It's not April. Why am I saying it's April? It's actually August 23rd, 2025. So, from this point on, I'm just going to be reacting and give you guys my unfiltered thoughts. You feel me? My whole perspective on everything. I am very heavily involved with AI. I have been tapped in. I have been utilizing it to my advantage and everything like that, making bread with it. And so I am here to give you guys just my perspective of all the advancements, you feel me? So yeah, if you're new to this circle, I call it a circle. If you're new to this circle, my name is Ray. Subscribe if you're new, and we're just gonna get into it. So we got Deepseek. Deepseek's new AI just humiliated GPT-5. I have been using GPT since 2022, since it's been released, you feel me? I was actually 18 at the time when I first got it, and I instantly was like, oh my gosh, you feel me? Now I instantly made money with it. I'm not gonna hold you. If I made better decisions just simply through ChatGPT and just optimized my whole entire workflow. For a while though, it made me lazy. I'm not gonna lie. It made me lazy. It made me stop thinking. I was using it way too much, and then I decided to detox from everything, like social media, from everything, from AI. And now I'm at the point where I utilize it. You know what I mean? I use it to my advantage. I don't go too crazy in it, and I use it for really just like brainstorming. Whenever I'm in the brainstorming phase, not to actually write or do my work. You feel me? So we're here though, and we're just gonna watch this video from AI Revolution. Never watched these guys before. This is my first time, so I don't know if it's AI. I don't know, whatever. But we're gonna see why Deepseek is taking over. Deepseek did have a little moment, you feel me? But ChatGPT instantly clapped back, and then there was Grok and everything like that. So now it's at the point where it's really GPT taking over. But we're gonna see what's up.
Deepseek v3.1 just destroyed expectations, 685 billion parameters, a 128,000 token context window, and a benchmark score that beat Claude Opus 4 while running 68 times cheaper. It dropped on Hugging Face with zero warning, and within hours, the AI world realized this open source release was going head-to-head with GPT-5. The release caught people off guard, not because of marketing or hype, but because of raw numbers. A 71.6% score on the Aider programming benchmark instantly spread across the community. Claude Opus 4 had been sitting at the top of those rankings, yet here was an open model edging past it. The shock did not stop there. Developers testing it quickly realized the same coding task that cost $70 on a closed system could now be done for just about $1
That's insane.
for enterprises
That's
or
insane.
startups running thousands of tasks daily.
That's crazy.
That is the kind of gap that changes entire budgets.
That's crazy. Is that true? If that's the case, here's the thing. All right. Now that's in the public. Now people actually know it's over. Money wise, it's gonna be a lopsided thing. It's gonna be a very lopsided thing. But I don't see it lasting, because here's the thing. When Deepseek was first kind of just known to the public, everyone got caught of it. I even got, hip about it. I instantly went there, and it was kind of slow. It was low-key slow, and it was because it was brand new, everything like that. Everyone, big traffic, all that. So I still think it's going to be stabilized. I feel like it's going to be different, but if people start realizing, the obvious, then yeah, that changes everything.
Daily, that is the kind of gap that changes entire budgets. This model pushes 685 billion parameters while stretching the context window to 128,000 tokens, giving it the capacity to handle massive inputs without slowing down. In Chinese characters, it works out to roughly 100 to 160,000, the equivalent of about 1/6 of A Dream of Red Mansions, one of the country's longest classics. People immediately started stress testing it by throwing huge texts at it, and while the model could realistically manage about 1/10 of something that massive, the results were accurate and fast. Speed was another part of the surprise. Previous reasoning-heavy models often slowed to a crawl when processing complex queries. V3.1 ripped through those same tasks with almost instant responses. Developers noted right away that something had changed under the hood. It was not just scaled up, it was optimized. The architecture explained a
That's
lot.
good.
Deepseek had introduced what they are calling a hybrid architecture. Earlier hybrid attempts usually ended in disappointment, with models that tried to do reasoning, chatting, and coding but ended up mediocre across the board. V3.1 for the first time makes those roles work together. The separate R1 label for reasoning is gone. Now everything defaults to V3.1. That consolidation means Deepseek is not fragmenting its models anymore. They have put their bets on one flagship system. Community researchers digging into the weights discovered something else. 4 hidden tokens, search begin and search end for real-time search, plus think and end think for internal reasoning. That means V3.1 can think privately before giving you an answer and, if connected, can even fetch information from the web. Those discoveries hinted at features people had been waiting for: native reasoning and native search in one open source package. And the benchmarks kept backing up the excitement. On SVG Bench, which tests visual and structural reasoning, V3.1 ranked just behind GPT 4.1 Mini, far surpassing Deepseek's earlier R1. On MMLU, the standard test for broad language understanding, it held its own against GPT-5. GPT-5 still performed better on graduate level Q&A and advanced software engineering, but the fact that an open model came this close was a milestone. Even on tricky logical comparisons like 9.11 versus 9.9, V3.1 got it right, showing it was less prone to those classic numerical mistakes.
All right. Okay. So what I'm getting right now is there's going to be competition, man. There is going to be insane competition these next few years. Now, reminder, there was about 344 billion, I believe, dollars invested in AI alone this year. Okay, from all the companies, Microsoft, BlackRock, whatever it is, all these companies that use AI or have been using AI, ChatGPT, Grok, everything like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a very competitive world, and if China is on top of it, which they are. If you go to China, you'll see they're on top of a lot of things, but at the same time they're not, because we're on top of things. We just keep it private. You feel me? We're gonna see some real competition. There's gonna be some real competition. Like, to think that DeepSeek was really just known this year. Really got introduced this year. For me, I got hip to it this year. A lot of people, it was this year when they first got introduced to DeepSeek. Maybe it was the end of last year. I can't remember when I made a video on it, but it's looking. That's for sure.
Cost efficiency, though, was what kept making headlines. Andrew
Yes,
Christensen, an AI
that's what I
researcher,
first
pointed
point
out
out.
the numbers plainly. 71.6% on Aider, 1% above Claude Opus 4, and 68 times cheaper.
Jeez.
That kind of proof hit hard because it was not abstract, it was practical. People could calculate exactly how much money this would save them in a real-world workflow.
Wow.
The timing of the launch.
That's actually crazy. That's crazy to think about. Now, if it can cover a lot of things, and that's why I was just talking about cost efficiency, that's where the real competition goes in place, because people like cheaper no matter what. It's human nature. We all like cheaper. I'm definitely going to be using DeepSeek if it comes with everything, and I'm paying $20 for ChatGPT when, it doesn't come with that. So there's still some things that DeepSeek, I don't know. What about image generation? Because I still use ChatGPT for image generation, and it's been very well for me. It's just been slow. That's all.
Also could not have been more calculated. OpenAI had just rolled out GPT-5. Anthropic had just released Claude 4. Both were marketed as cutting-edge frontier systems locked behind APIs with premium pricing. Deepseek chose that exact moment to upload V3.1 quietly, without fanfare, as a free download.
Free
The message was
download.
clear. While American companies guard their frontier systems like intellectual property, Deepseek was treating its frontier model as public infrastructure. That approach lines up with China's national strategy. Back in 2020, their 14th five-year plan explicitly favored open source AI. The idea was to accelerate adoption worldwide by giving away powerful models, even if it meant losing short-term profits. And it is working. Hugging Face's trending list has been dominated by Chinese releases lately, and V3.1 shot straight into the top 5 within hours. The developer community reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Hugging Face's own head of product, Victor Mustar, tweeted that open source AI is at its peak, pointing directly at models like this. On Reddit, people noticed that the think button from earlier versions had vanished, outputs were longer and more detailed, and benchmarks looked stronger than expected. Before Deepseek even published the model card, V3.1 was already trending worldwide. This was not the first time Deepseek rattled the industry, though. Back in January, when they unveiled the original V3, they revealed that training only cost $5.6 million using about 2,000 slower NVIDIA chips. That was unheard of in a world where people assumed hundreds of millions were required to train frontier systems. The news alone wiped $600 billion off NVIDIA's market cap in a single day.
That's crazy.
Governments quickly banned the chatbot version of Deepseek over fears that user data would sit on Chinese servers. With V3.1, things are different. This is not just a chatbot, it is an open model released to the world. The economics here are brutal for competitors. Traditional AI development is built on massive investment, data centers, research talent, compliance, and those costs have to be recouped through high API fees. Deepseek flipped that model upside down. By giving away advanced capabilities, they accelerate adoption while forcing closed competitors to justify their prices. It is the same dynamic we saw with open source software like Linux. Once the free version is good enough, the paid option looks less appealing. There are, of course, practical limits. The full model is around 700 gigabytes, which means most people will not run it locally. But cloud providers are already preparing hosted versions, which removes that barrier almost immediately. Enterprises will soon be asking themselves a simple question. Why pay premium rates for closed models when a frontier-level open one is sitting there waiting to be deployed?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. And I think I'm going to end it there because, yeah, I got the whole gist of it now. Like, Deepseek is clearly going to be the biggest competitor. Behind Claude, behind GPT, behind Grok, it's going to be Deepseek simply because with Grok, right, you have to pay $30 for like 100 different types of things. You feel me? With GPT, 20, you know, reasonable, but 20. And if you don't pay, then you're getting limited time to use it. With Deepseek, it's open source to the whole world for free. Everything is just there for you. Do you understand? Like that. Now, if they ban it, they can't, oh yeah, this is an open source, just like how this guy explained. It's just gonna be, yeah, no, this was a great move. And I wonder if they're really not, if China's really not concerned about short-term profit because of what they have going on right now with tariffs and everything like that. Now, I know they're negotiating right now with the whole tariff game, trade war game, but we're just gonna have to see what happens. You feel me? Because they're not getting the semiconductors anytime soon. They're not going to really, they're kind of in a, not a recession, but if you know what's going on with their youth, that plays a critical role. You know, they have problems. See, so like, why not use this as a advantage to get ahead with things? But I don't know. I don't know all the information. Some guy just reacting. Deepseek is getting scary for sure. But yo, we're gonna leave it off there. I hope each and every one of y'all, you know what I mean, took this and maybe just started looking at certain things. I do want to hear y'all opinion on this whole thing. One thing I want to know is Deepseek gonna be like good for image generation? Like, can you do image generation there? I don't even know. I don't use Deepseek like that. I still use GPT-5. So let me know if you guys are, you know, aware with that. But I do want to hear you guys' opinions on everything. My name is Ray. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. And yeah, peace.